that local church cannot spend the money in the zonal office. So that's gone, right? So you probably talk about the tithe. You don't handle that. What percentage is left for the local assembly to operate with?
It's actually 30%.
Okay. What can this do? It can do anything if it is mixed with faith. There has to be a spiritual chemical reaction. Mix that money with faith. It's not how much that came to you. It's what you thought about it.
Alright guys, I welcome you back again to the God channel. How are we doing today? Alright, just hit the subscribe button. You're right here with Brother PJ. Subscribe for more. So I'm right here with the man of God, Dr. Chris Explain. So our Father in the Lord, our Father is going to be talking about how he grew, most of his early esteemed zonal pastors and regional pastors today to be financial experts in their churches and in their lives. So it's going to be expatiating more about it, talking about the church growth, finance and all that. So let's watch the video. It's really an helpful video on how to manage not just the church structure, but when I watch the video, it really affects my mind, to maintain and to manage finances, to structure and finances way. So let's watch the video and I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Well, when we talk about managing church finance, it's not really so much as what you put your how you apportioned the money that came in, whether you said 10% for this, 5 for this, 7 for this. All this is good, but this will probably refer, okay, I'll give you an example. Assuming you are to pay a certain percentage to the zonal office, all right, that means that local church cannot spend the money in the zonal office. So that's gone, right? That means that's not the one I'm talking about, because you can't manage that one. I'm looking for the one that you handle and what you do with it. So you probably talk about the tithe. You don't handle that. So that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm looking for that figure, whatever it is, whether at the end of the day it was 1%, whatever it was, even 0.5. Okay? Whatever it was, my question is, what do you do with it? The one that you have authority over as a pastor, what do you do with it? Okay, let me use those who answered me a moment ago. What percentage is left for the local assembly to operate with?
It's actually 30%.
Okay. Is that similar? Okay, let me take that. 30%. Question is, what do you do with the 30% that's there? For some people, it's too small. This 30% is never enough. We're never able to do the things we need to do because we're left with 30%. For some others, it's always enough for what we need to do. Now, whichever way you think about it, your problem is not the percentage that is left, whether it is small or large. Is your understanding of what that represents. your understanding of what it represents. What is it to you? Let's look at something here. Assuming that the total amount of money that came in was 160,000 naira. This would be how much in dollars? Huh? About somewhere 1,050. Can I get rid of that 50 for a moment? Let me just... Okay, I should get rid of this one. Alright? So let's go like this. $1,000. This will be simpler. Okay? Assuming this was what you were getting, it'll mean you have approximately left 30% of this, which will be what? $300. And this will be what? What? This. 30% of it. 45. 45,000. Are you convinced? Does it look like 45,000? 30% of 150. Okay. All right. Now here is my point. This is naira, by the way. Okay. So the guy says, I have only $300 left. Never enough. I get $1,000 every week. And I'm left with $300 after all other payments are made. And we have to operate with this $300. The other guy says it's 45,000 naira I'm left with. And it's never enough. Even our rentals will be 60,000, you know. It depends on what your understanding of money is. And hear me. The reason what I'm sharing with you now is so important is this. All your life, no one might have taught you about money. At home, your parents may have never taught you about money. So what you may have learned about money would be what most people know about money. What most people are poor by the records. Therefore, what most people know about money helped them to be poor. So, to be different, you must know what the few people who are not poor and do far better and are prosperous know about money. So there's got to be a difference in your attitude to it, your understanding of money. Okay. First things first. Money is only a seed. And in reality does not exist. Now. Imagine you writing this in your notes and somebody else reading this is going to think you're crazy. So please be careful. It exists in the mind of the poor. You see, this value of $300 exists in the mind of the poor. Why is he poor? Because he was raised poor. He was raised to think that way. He was raised to function in poverty. So he has a value for this $300. And so he calculates all that he can do. And $300 not enough. And since it's not enough, he wonders, what can I do? What would I do with my life? Never enough. Because in his head, this 300 keeps spinning. He's got $300. This is his understanding. This is his limitation. And because this is his limitation, he cannot go beyond $300 in what he does. His only option will be one of two things. If he's going to do more than $300 could ever do, one, he's going to have to beg, or he's going to have to borrow. And for both, he presents himself as a guy who is really in need, because he's really in need. You see it? That's the life of most people. And that's why it's easier to keep back this $300 and whine and grumble than to let it go. And the guy who lets it go with poverty mentality says, I've given everything, because all I had was $300. And once he's given the $300, he's given everything. And what is he expecting? God's got to do something. That's the way many people are. Now, while I'm talking like this, I want you to keep reminding yourself that most people in the world are poor. Keep reminding yourself. So when I make some statements, quickly remind yourself that the records are clear. In all nations, the majority of the people live below average. Okay? Then remind yourself of another thing I'm going to say, that all those called middle class and average are all poor. Mark it. So while I'm talking, if I make some statements that startle you, quickly remind yourself that majority of the world are poor, including those called middle class. So that you would remember that there must be some uncommon thinking that produce the uncommon winners. Okay? So if I say some things that are uncommon, quickly remind yourself that the common ones have produced poverty anyway. So what do you do with the common thinking? Are you listening? Same about money. It's not how much that came to you. It's what you thought about it. It's what you thought about it. What can this do? It can do anything if it is mixed with faith. There has to be a spiritual chemical reaction. Mix that money with faith. Let me read it to you in the Bible. Book of Hebrews. Right. Verse 2. For unto us, I should read it from verse 1 so you get the whole context. It says, let us therefore fear, lest the promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it.
Alright guys, hope you were blessed by that video. That video was really impactful to us managing finances and all that. So if you don't want to make video like this, just smash that subscribe button and like the video and turn on the notification bell to be the first person to be notified of our upload. See you in my next video. Peace and out.